Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. A couple of games released recently. One, only a little open beta to test things out, give people a little taste of what's to come. And the other one was a full release, and the numbers are in. And I guess you could compare these numbers on Steam and see who came out ahead in this little competition. And my goodness, both of these games, I believe they have a good bit of a fan base. One, obviously, more than the other. Now, of course, you'll figure out what games I'm talking about very shortly. One of which, Dragon Age the Veilguard, and the other is the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. My goodness. Over at That Park Place, John F. Trent goes, Dragon Age Veilguard player count dwarfed by Monster Hunter Wilds beta, described as concerning. I was a bit shocked when I saw these numbers, but oh my goodness. Dwarfed? Concerning? John F. Trent, that is an understatement of the day, if not the year or the century. EA and BioWare's Dragon Age Veilguard has a lukewarm release. Lukewarm. You're being very gentle with this article, John. My goodness. Lukewarm release that was completely and utterly oh, there you go. That's a little bit better. Trounced by the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. A beta. Free. Absolutely free. Nothing like the Concord beta that came out a while back, huh, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, what do we got here? On its release date, Dragon Age the Veilguard player count peaked at just over 70,000, a far cry from the breakout potential EA CEO Andrew Wilson claimed the game had during EA's Q2 2025 earnings conference call. Now, I'll be the first to say that a Thursday night release, I was streaming the game, and I will be streaming it further just to see how wonderful the game is. And I was wondering, trying to figure out, what do we compare it to? Obviously, you cannot compare Dragon Age the Veilguard to Baldur's Gate 3 release for multiple reasons. First of all, it was a much better game. And second, it had a considerable amount of time in early access where players knew exactly what they were getting, chomping at the bit, reviews and talking about it, despite the, giggity with the bear. Everyone knew what was coming. So, obviously, I guess Baldur's Gate has a much larger fan base than Dragon Age does. You decide for yourself. Let's see what good old Andrew Wilson said. Quote, I certainly think Veilguard has breakout potential. Break out the bottom. Again, 10 years ago, Dragon Age Inquisition won Game of the Year. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, will you be surprised if Dragon Age the Veilguard wins Game of the Year because of its stunning and brave and diversity and inclusion and equity and just the character creator and the awesome dialogue and the intricate, complex combat mechanics? I can't even think that with a straight face. One Game of the Year. Do you think Veilguard's going to win Game of the Year? Game of the Jeer. Yeah, Game of the Jeer. That's right. Cheers and jeers. Don't be surprised. I won't be because, Jeff Keighley, Game Awards, whatever. 10 years ago, yada. Was very strong performer for us in the conduct of our business. Well, that was a different BioWare 10 years ago. A very different BioWare than it is today. This is entertainment, and so while much of our business has moved to live service moment to moment, which we really wish y'all would stop doing, just deliver a solid single-player experience and maybe multiplayer co-op, especially when it comes to the fantasy genre, fantasy RPG, not necessarily the action RPG that Veilguard seems to be, but, remember, it's a return to form, right? Veilguard's a return to form. At least that's what every single solitary gaming news outlet is saying. All of them. They all got the same script. This is entertainment. Deliver innovation and creativity. Opinions vary. For a deeply engaged community over the course of time. This opportunity is to bring in incredibly high-quality creative storytelling. He said that with a straight face, didn't he? Creative storytelling. Sure, I guess. Set in an amazing world with rich characters living out those stories, you're able to capture that moment in entertainment, that linear storytelling, that where choice is the illusion of choice so far. Success almost certainly follows. Well, unfortunately, if you, at least what it appears to be, when you focus on that diversity, equity, inclusion, when that is your chief and only focus, at least it comes across as the only focus, then the rest of the product stumbles, falls, and fails, suffers because of it. So what do we got here? Oh, player count right now. Looks like this was last night. Peak player count over 15 hours, 24-hour peak, 70,000. Now I ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think after the initial opening weekend? Because, just to be fair, let's give the benefit of the doubt. With Monster Hunter Wilds being free just this weekend for, everyone, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam users, what do you think the weekend numbers are going to be for this game? Do you think players are waiting for Veilguard after the Monster Hunter Wilds open beta? Or do you think people are just waiting for others to review the game and see exactly what it's like? Let me know what you think. Is this number going to break 100,000? The game's peak player count were dwarfed by Monster Hunter Wilds. You ready for this? 463,000. Almost 500,000 players. Both of these games, both the beta and Dragon Age Veilguard, were released on Steam, on PlayStation 5. And I can't remember. I haven't checked Xbox, so I'm not sure if Monster Hunter Wilds was released on Xbox Live as well for the open beta, but they were definitely both on Steam. Almost 500,000. Couldn't even break 100,000. We'll have to see after this weekend. Let's see. However, if one goes back to August, Black Myth Wukong's benchmark tool even beat, oh, goodness gracious, the benchmark tool. So was that when they were showing the video and testing it? Y'all educate me. I know I should have looked this up before because I think I talked about the Black Myth Wukong benchmark video. They were just testing it and the frame rates and all this other stuff to see how it played. And that video or that gameplay broke 85,000. Y'all give me a reminder in the comment section. While Dragon Age The Veilguard only hit 70,000 in its first day, it's likely to see that number increase, definitely. As players pick up the game over the weekend, similar trends. Okay, so this argument right here, it's likely to go up, but how much will it go up considering, sure, but you have the Monster Hunter Wilds open beta on the same day to compare it to. I think that's a fair comparison. They both released on the same day, technically, if you're not a PlayStation Plus user, on a Thursday. They are similar, not similar, similar genres. Fantasy, open world, although Veilguard, that can be argued. Fantasy settings, we'll go with that. They're both fantasy settings where you, whatever. Open beta versus full release. Almost 500,000 to barely over 70,000. How much of a difference is the weekend going to make? 100,000? 150? Oh, check it back on Monday. Oh, let's see. Only hit 70,000 in the first day. It is likely to see that number increase as players pick up the game over the weekend. They're going to be too busy playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Similar trends were seen with recent releases, such as Metaphor Refantasio, which saw its peak player count hit 85,000, almost 86, on its first Sunday after releasing on Friday, October 11th. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero followed a similar trend, albeit it peaked at 122,000 concurrent players on Friday 11th after being released on the 10th. So I guess that means it went up and increased. Former World of Warcraft hey, Mark Kern, what's up, Grums? Shared his analysis of Veilguard, peaking at just over 70,000, describing it as concerning and underperforming. Okay, it's true California isn't online yet. Also, you had a whole state that wasn't even available for the game yet, which is what? Okay. People joining early are leaving the game. This is speculation, of course. Or you would see the curve stack more. It's about session time. Long-form RPGs tend to have a really long session time versus, say, FPS games. But we're not seeing that here. What do we have what metric do we have to judge it on? 1 day. I don't want to sit there and completely and totally pass judgment on a game that releases, especially one that releases on a Thursday, until you need, what, at least a week, at least an entire weekend before we start passing judgment on, numbers like this. Let's see, you would expect that East Coast would still be playing as California came online, but they are not. This means session times are low, perhaps 2 to 3 hours. There's nothing wrong with that, considering how linear the game is. You can, oh God, and how much dialogue and cutscenes there are at the beginning of the game. People don't have the time, perhaps, releasing on a Thursday. They got to get up and go to work the next day. So, again, sure, Mark, it's an interesting metric. You want to look at the numbers and compare it to something else that released on the same day. Again, Monster Hunter Wild, which perhaps Monster Hunter Wilds would, shorter sessions would be okay. So, and of course, the limited time for the open beta weekend, everybody wants to jump on and see what it's like, check it out, and get the preliminary, I guess, tutorial out of the way before they completely dive into it this weekend. I think these are definitely going to be 2 games to check out over the weekend. 463,000. Is this number going to go up over the weekend? Now that, once people are able to get at home and sit down and relax, not have to worry about getting to work the next day, I think this number's going to go up. Will it break 500,000? We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Will this break 100,000, 150,000? Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below, but we'll be keeping an eye on this. But to describe it as concerning, yeah, I think that would be an understatement. I will continue to check out this game, stream it, and give my opinion on it as I play it. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, and do all those nifty little things those YouTubers beg you to do. And I hope to see you during the Veilguard live stream.